So I remember waiting in line at McDonald's at the games, and there was this athlete actually from Egypt, and I remember she was in a chair, and she kept trying to cut us, and we were like, no. And she, we finally were like, no, you can't cut us. She's like, no, I'm disabled. At the Paralympics, and finally we were like, what? Listen, we're all disabled. We're like,
right, that's not an excuse here.
You go to the back. Like, we're the ones that have to stand, actually, so you have to go to the back.
Howdy, y'all, and welcome back to Pick Last in Gym Class. Joining me from New York City is my fellow Team USA Paralympic athlete, Brianna Salinaro, who will be competing in Taekwondo at the 2020 Games in Japan.
So how did you've done Taekwondo for a long time, but you're relatively new in like the para-Taekwondo world. How did you find para-Taekwondo?
So it was actually a funny story. So I was going into, it was my senior year of high school.
Okay.
And I was thinking to myself, okay, like an able-bodied, I'm not successful. And I love the sport so much, I love my team, like I really didn't want to quit, but I was like, I'm going to college, like is it really time to just, put it to the side and, start real life now?
Do I have to be a real adult?
An adult, right? So I was so upset one night, and I was just Googling it, and I came across the Paralympics, and like on the Team USA website, they have like a list of all the sports, and I saw Taekwondo, and I was like, oh my goodness, like what? I didn't know about this, And, but it only marked like for amputees. So I reached out to the USA Taekwondo like governing body, and they're like, no, like come down to US Open, we'll check you out, we'll classify you, and like if you're eligible, like we'll put you in sport, So I was actually their first cerebral palsy athlete, but they agreed to it, and ever since it's been a go.
Nice, that's awesome.
Yeah.
That is, so I'm so happy you're here because we can talk shop as far as Paralympics because it seems like for so many people, it's like such an elusive world. And even like when you first joined too, you're like, wow, there's like a lot of nuances here. You're like, wow, like I know exactly what sheet you're talking about online where it's like the chart and you like go through your disability and you look at the sports
is it
available.
There, is it not?
Like when I saw bocce ball, I was like, sweet, I'm gonna do bocce ball. And I'm like, okay, not available for my disability. Okay, all right, fair enough. So you're the first female athlete with cerebral palsy to compete in para-Taekwondo.
Right.
That's amazing.
Thank you.
So let's go back. How did CP come about for you?
Well, it's like you're born with it.
Yeah.
It's either before birth, during birth, or after, like shortly after.
Yeah.
So my parents didn't realize something was up until I was about 1.5 years old, and they took me to a bunch of doctors, and they're like, oh no, she's fine, like she'll grow out of it, whatever. And I didn't, obviously. So then we went over to the hospital for special surgery, and they diagnosed it, and we worked with a neurologist and orthopedist, all that stuff. I got surgery on both my Achilles tendons because like I only walked on my toes. Like, I couldn't even keep my shoes on. So, they corrected that, and ever since I was in leg braces until I was like 16. I'm still supposed to wear them, but I don't, so we keep that on the down low.
Whatever, semantics. It doesn't go with you. I know. Like, nah.
No, it's fine.
Yeah.
But that was just for nighttime, so like I go to school and like, limp around and stuff. But like as I got older, like you get stronger and your muscles,
Well, yeah, and you grew up being an athlete, so you became stronger in different ways.
Right. And just years of physical therapy even now, but like I've learned to enjoy it more. Like I love physical therapy, but as a kid I used to hate it.
It's a part of training now.
Right,
yeah,
right.
It's like the focus changes.
Right.
When I was a kid, so I lost my leg when I was 9, and I went to PT maybe twice, and I was the same way. I was like, actually, I hate this. Like I'm gonna just not do this. Yeah. So your CP affects both. Is it both your legs or is it your arms as well?
They say it affects a little bit of my arms, but like I never really.
Yeah.
Like I went through occupational therapy as well, and that was all upper body. But that was for, I guess you could say, a short period of time. I think I finished when I was like 9.
Yeah.
But I do have spastic dysplasia, so that goes from the hips down.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. A CP is so crazy. Like it's just like such a crazy disability. I've learned about it recently over like the past couple of years, and it just like there's no cookie cutter.
No,
thing
not
for
at all.
CP.
It's literally different for everybody you meet. Everybody. You could be like completely wheelchair bound to not being able to feed yourself to like, oh, you'd walk around and
I met a guy who had CP for track, and he's like, I can't turn a door handle. Like that was his disability.
Really?
Like he was one of the fastest guys, and he couldn't do this.
Right.
But then I had another friend who was more affected, and I'm like, can you turn a door handle? He's just like, No problem.
I can turn a door handle, no problem.
That was really, you're like, no worries, I got that. Just not Evan, just on the one hand. Okay, so as far as international depth of field, like how many women with CP or equivalent, because is it cerebral palsy or is it a cerebral palsy or?
I call it
or equivalent.
Cerebral palsy.
The CP class,
and the CP. There's none, it's me. I fight all amputees. There's nobody that has cerebral palsy, at least in my weight division.
Yeah.
In the division below me, at least on Team USA, there is a girl that has cerebral palsy, but she has a different form than I do.
Yeah. So it's slightly different.
Yeah.
Because I know, like, in track and field, like, we have a relatively big depth of field for CP athletes.
Yeah.
But now there's also, like, there's people that are CP equivalents, so it's, like, brain injury, but they're affected.
Like strokes and stuff
but
like
then,
that.
like, you watch them run or something, and you're like, are you, like...
Right, do you?
I'm not so sure.
I'm not sure, yeah.
Well, that's the guy that can't turn the door handle.
Right.
Brain injury. Who knows? When you were, like, looking up para-taekwondo, when you found para-taekwondo in high school and you decided to kind of, like, dip your toes a little bit, like, what was your expectation of that? I
had zero expectation because I knew nothing about it. It was a brand new sport, even to the, like I said, to the world.
Yeah, to their federation. Yeah.
So, like, I would just Google videos all the time of people, and I'd be like, wow, these people, like, because they have able-bodied legs. Like, they can move like able-bodied people. It's a kicking sport.
Honestly, yeah. I'm like, honestly, my arm amputee, like my campers and my friends that are especially congenital arm amputees, I'm like, yelling handicap. I'm like, those legs are powerful.
Right. Like, you're fine.
Yeah.
But yeah. So I kind of just went with the flow, and I feel like I didn't start really, like, I don't know the word for it. I didn't really start, like, feeling it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you were like, yes, this is the thing.
Yeah, like, till I went to Korea. That was, like, my first huge international tournament. And that's kind of where I got to see more experience. And I was like, oh, this is what it's about. And, you know, these kinds of things are entailed in sport, so.
It always seems like it's, like, your first international trip, and you're like, I love this.
Right, yeah.
You're like, this is super cool. So you started Taekwondo young. Did your parents put you in it? Like, how did you start Taekwondo?
So I always loved martial arts. And I say to this day, I want to be a boxer.
That's amazing.
I love boxing.
I'm like, you seem very, like, calm, though. I'm like, she's a fighter.
Oh, yeah.
You got that little fight in you.
Thanks. No, I love boxing. I always have. I was always one of those kids that, like, tried, like, every sport and quit every sport. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, I'd be like, Mom, let me do basketball. And then, like, 2 days later, I quit. And she's like, are you kidding me? I just bought you all the gear. I'm like, sorry. So I actually started martial arts when I was, like, 5. And then I quit. And I didn't go back with a friend until I was about 9, because they had, like, a bring your friend class.
It's better with a buddy.
Right.
Yeah.
Exactly.
We call them accountability buddies.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I kind of stuck with it from there, and then, like, I would quit in between just 'cause, like, confidence levels, because you look at people around you and you're like, oh, like, I don't look like that.
It's not that fun to keep losing.
Right.
You're
exactly.
like, this is really not that fun.
Exactly. So. You know, I'd quit in and out, but then, like, when I was, like, 13, I really, like, fell into the team. Like, they became my best friends.
Yeah,
they became
it's
my
your
family.
community.
Right.
Yeah.
So, and they understood. It wasn't like, oh, you're weird. It was like, oh, like, I got it and I'll help you. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's like you have this thing, but it's the same sport.
Right.
Yeah.
Exactly. So, and this was before even power, because I would compete with able-bodied people up until I found it. So once I found that team and, like, the motivation to continue, then it was just a go from there. So.
Is that what training looks like for you? Like, so you're still with your same, like, Taekwondo group, and when you do, like, regional competitions, is it like it's just you competing against able-bodied people until you go to a para meet?
Yeah, like, well, as far as, like, right now, as far as para, because I don't want to get injured, I don't compete able-bodied anymore.
That's
like,
smart.
I'll go and I'll work the tournament, or I'll just help out in any way I can, but prior to, it was just...
Yeah, that's just training. Yeah, you're like, you got to get it in, and you got to know the sport. You can't just... I think, like, a lot of people, paras, like, we're at such a weird shift as far as disabled sport right now, because it seems like you'll meet the good old boys or whatever of parasport, and for a lot of it, it's like people have become athletes or well-known athletes because they've just been in the game for a long time.
Exactly.
But we're coming now, like, with kids like you and, like, or I mean, like, young adults like you, where there's actually talented athletes that are coming. Like, these are athletes that just happen to have a disability.
Exactly.
So there's, like, a really big shift, because it seems like for a really long time, Parasport was like something just available to people with disabilities, and now it's like
now we're talented.
It's legit.
Showing art, yeah.
And it's not easy.
Skills.
It's not easy to make a team.
It's not easy. No.
What are the goals for 2020? Because you're planning on competing in Tokyo.
My goal is definitely to medal. I find it extremely, obviously gold is everybody's dream.
Gold looks good on everyone.
But exactly.
But it looks the best on me.
It looks good on me.
Yeah, it looks really good on you.
Right. Well, that would obviously be the goal, but I honestly being there is an honor.
Yeah.
Obviously. I mean,
what is team selection gonna look like for you?
Team selection, as far as right now, I'm qualified.
Okay.
I'm good to go.
Nice.
I am number 4 in the world. And I do bounce around in the rankings.
Yeah, there's a lot of people in the world.
Yeah.
So congrats. There's a lot of people with cerebral palsy in the world.
Thank you.
Yeah.
So, but again, it's top 4, so it's really just like this year is a big determining year for a lot of people.
Yeah, well, 2020 is right around the corner.
Right.
Like, I mean, people feel like it's far away, but until you do the sport and you're like, it's now.
Exactly. Literally, I remember like 2016, I was like, we have so much time. Like, this is gonna go, like, we're just gonna enjoy, have fun. And I'm like, oh my God, it's next year.
Yeah.
What?
It's here.
Right, it's here. So we go off a point system. And if you have the most points, obviously you're higher ranked. So as far as team selection, it will be 2 or 3 girls and then about 2 or 3 guys.
Wow, so it's a small team.
Yeah,
it's
small
not.
team.
Yeah, they're not just taking everyone.
Right, from America. Yeah.
Yeah. That's cool. So besides sport, because there's so much more that goes into the games. Like everybody. People that aren't like a part of like the Olympic Paralympic community, like it just seems like that's our only meet, and like everything, like everything else, we're just trained for that. But
Nobody
there's a lot
sees the behind the scenes.
Yeah, there's a lot of other steps, and there's a lot of other things that also go into that. What are you looking forward to in Tokyo that's not sport related?
Definitely team processing.
Yeah,
like all the clothing and all that stuff.
It's so fun. You feel like Cinderella. It's cool.
Like because the able-bodied people that went in 2016, they kind of gave me a little insight to it. And I'm like, oh my God, my name's gonna be on a mirror with Nike, and like, you know, that's definitely one of the major things I'm looking for. And sushi, because it's gonna be in
bomb. It's gonna be some bomb food. It's gonna be amazing. I mean, like I feel like the Japanese, like they already like live in the future. So I feel like even like in Rio, like they had the Japan house, and it was. I'm like, they're already ready for us. Like I feel like they were already ready for the Olympics. They're like, just come through. Like we're ready. It's gonna be fun. It's gonna be great. Yeah. Are you guys, is Para-Taekwondo based out of Colorado Springs at the Olympic Training Center?
Yeah, we did just have a camp there.
Cool.
Recently, I can't remember when, but we were just recently there. That was our first time there.
Yeah, that weight room, they just redid their weight room a couple years ago. Unbelievable. It is so beautiful.
It's huge. I was like, oh my, and then you look out, like when you go upstairs and you see all the
Springs is so beautiful.
Mountains. Yeah, it's so nice.
Did you stay in the dorms?
We did.
What did you like about the Colorado Springs Training Center?
The food.
Yeah. Oh yeah, the cafeteria.
So good. The food was really good. Just the atmosphere itself, like seeing like Michael Phelps' like face as I'm walking by, and like just like even just seeing like Paralympians, like, cause like even growing up, I didn't know a lot of people that were like me. Like you feel like somewhat alone when you're disabled because if you're not exposed.
Yeah, rarely are you exposed. Yeah, exactly what you said. Like typically you are the only person with any sort of disability in your community.
Right.
So you're like, I'm normal, but I also have something that no one else has, and it's isolating.
Exactly, and then when you meet people that you can relate to, you're like, oh my goodness, like let me tell you about this, and this, and like, you know, give me your thoughts too. Just like having that atmosphere and being at the most prestigious place you could be for your sport is like, wow, like I made it. Like,
it's cool.
It's cool.
I think you seem like so much more humble than I was, and like smarter than I was at 19. Because I remember I had started track like as I was graduating college, para-track. I did gymnastics and cheerleading.
You did? That's awesome.
In high school. Thank you. In high school and in college. So like I remember when like I found like Parasport found me, and you get sent to the training center. And it was my first time being around elite athletes with a disability. And so like me coming in from collegiate sports, I was like, oh, like I'm the best. Like, can't tell me nothing. And the mentality of not just elite sport, but elite sport like in the world of disability was just something I had never been exposed to.
It's totally different.
Yeah, and it was like gonna be a lot more work than I had anticipated. Like I really thought I could just roll in and just like stomp on everyone.
Like,
and they were like,
gonna crush it.
your passion for Taekwondo is what has driven you like this far. What has taken you like years to get to this point because you like the sport.
Exactly.
And that's something that I almost admire more that para has because the drive is different, like the fuel is different.
Right.
Well, like what is for you, what is the thing that motivates you to just like keep going and keep pursuing, even though like you know that you're stacked up against people that have more advantages?
I think like that is the motivator is like every time, I tell this to everybody, every time I step in that ring, every single odd is against me. My own body, the person against me, and all the rules.
Yeah.
Like with CP, like you fall down a lot. It's a balance impairment as well. So I find myself falling down. And a rule is in Taekwondo, if you fall down, you get a point off the other person. So I've lost because I fell down. We were equal.
You're like, I was against myself.
I fell. And I was like, I tripped. Like, you know what I mean? Right.
Yeah.
Like if I didn't fall there, that would have been my goal.
Yeah.
But I think it is like being able to say like, I overcame all of that.
Yeah.
You know, like I did that anyway and I can do it and it's gonna take me a lot longer, but like the day that it happens, it's gonna be like,
huge.
Right.
It's gonna be huge. It's gonna be huge. Yeah. It'll be huge, believe me. Yeah. That's, I mean, I almost, like the longer that I spent in para, I had like disability denial when I started. I was like, I'm not disabled. Like I grew up with this leg, but I'm not like these people.
Fine,
I'm different.
Right. Yeah.
And then I started getting my ass kicked, and then I was like, okay, maybe I need to start getting like these people.
Right.
And I've realized now like the athleticism in para is almost richer, I think, than able-bodied athletes because it takes like your knowledge of the sport and your knowledge of your own ability and then the knowledge of other people's ability and making it all work.
Yeah, for sure.
What are the things right now in training that you're working on?
Right now, I'm having trouble with actually like scoring on the chest guard. So we use electronic sensors on the chest guard. So if you kick me and you have your electronic sock on, it will just go right up.
So there's sensors like on in the whole uniform.
Well, like in the chest guard and in your feet.
Okay, that makes sense. Okay, yeah. I was like, that seems expensive.
No, I wish.
This makes
oh
more
my
sense.
goodness.
Okay. Yeah. Just like full on.
Right, like robot. No, maybe we'll get there one day.
Yeah, one day.
We'll see.
Technology.
But so I'm working on like getting my foot to hit the, like I can hit it, but like getting it up, getting the computer to recognize it.
Yeah, enough force to go through it.
Right. And we actually just found out at athletic training that I don't use my calf muscles unless my knees are bent. Yeah. So we're literally going into specific muscle groups and like tailoring exercises to that and just like, but I enjoy the process so much more because I'm like, oh, now I know, so I can fix that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? When you don't know, you're kind of just like, okay, what's next?
Yeah, you're like, I'm not getting better.
Right, like how do I fix this? But when you get an answer to it, it's like, all right, we're good to go. Let's
that's what's gonna make you a Paralympian.
Right,
That's really what like are like the finite details, I think, from being good in a sport to being the top in the elite.
Right.
Because like you get good, you progress, and then you start finding like the minutia that needs just like a little polishing here.
Like tweak.
And it's it's like it almost becomes a puzzle. You're like, what are the pieces that need to come together in order for me to achieve like this generally better thing? But you find like the more elite and the better you get in sport, it's always like, it's the details.
Right, definitely. It definitely comes down to like the last detail, the mentality, the technique, the physicality, all of it comes together in one, and when they all mesh, it's like your day.
It's poetry.
Like,
yeah, it is.
Like,
and that's the hard thing too about like Olympics and Paralympics is you can be the absolute best in your sport. Like the absolute, no question, Usain Bolt version of the best.
Exactly.
I don't know the Taekwondo equivalent of Usain Bolt, but the best one, the best one.
Yeah.
But it all has to come in line in one day. And like that is really, like that's where the details come in.
Right.
Do you do anything for like your mental game as far as sports?
Mental game is definitely something I still really need a lot of work on.
Yeah.
And I think it's important for everybody to work on it. Athlete or not, I think it's
training.
important.
Yeah, it's training.
It is training, and a lot of people don't think of it as training, but I think listening to motivational speakers like Gary Vaynerchuk and like E.T., like they really kind of hype me up. Listening to the right music too on fight day is always super important, and just like, you know, like, because I'm on social media a lot.
Yeah.
So following like Hustle of the Mind or like certain Instagram accounts or whatever, just getting those reminders like, hey, you got this today.
Yeah.
Like today's gonna be a good day. You know, just
those positivity flushes, those little winks. Yeah.
Right. Exactly. So, and just like, I do want to start try to meditate.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Meditation's
I've tried
on
it,
deck.
and then like I fall out of it, but I did hear that it could really help.
Yeah, there's a lot of different tools. I've had one coach that has told us like about mental resiliency every year before we start. Like he has this review, mental resiliency and like mental resilient training and techniques. And a lot of people like they forget that the mind game and like what you consume on social media, what you consume on TV, like that it all affects you. And
it does.
I always joke about how like I only watch Seinfeld, like I only watch like one show because it's just like light and easy. But it's because like it's easy to be negative. It's easy to get like swept up in negativity, and especially when you're an athlete, especially when you have a bad performance, you're like that negative self-talk. Like if you don't.
I saw on social media like somebody posted like somebody could comment you all day long, and then somebody gives you one negative comment. What are you gonna go home?
You're like, I'm gonna think about that forever.
Right.
Yeah.
And why were they so mean and just get all caught up in that? But.
And as an athlete too, it's hard because there's like a fine balance of knowing like there's always work to be done. There's always a way to perfect the craft. There's always more mastery to pursue in your skills. And so like to get like the negative self-talk it could be a virus basically.
Definitely.
What are some tools that work for you as far as like self-talk when you're performing, when you're training?
I think it's important to always go in there with the mindset of I'm gonna leave it all on the mat, or I'm gonna leave it all on the field, or whatever field of play that you're in. I'm gonna leave it all there, and like walking off knowing that like you did your best. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's what
important.
you had today. Yeah.
Right, like that's all I had today, and like, was it enough? No, but like I can go home and work on that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Just telling myself like, I think a big problem for me is I always look at it like they're so advantaged over me. And I use that in my head. I'm like, they have so much advantage, but I need to dial that back and be like, okay, but I have these advantages. You know what I mean? I'm still strong, I'm still capable.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna go out there and do it.
What's your playlist for like getting ready for a competition?
Goodness, my playlist. Eminem, always
a great hype man.
Yeah. Drake, 50 Cent.
Oh my God, I love your music. Like you just like seem so like inconspicuous and you're just like full on like,
It's like rap, like all rap and like just like
that's where the aggression comes from. You're still fighting somebody at the end of the day. Like you're a nice gal, but you're like, we're still fighting.
Exactly. And like just like certain songs are just like they say certain things and I'm like, that's me. Like I got this. Like let's go. Like you know.
So you do fighting, but do you also do the form?
I don't.
Okay.
I used to. But I do think that it takes away from fighting because like you have to focus your energy there too, and like it's just not something that I love to do, and it's not in the Olympics.
Yeah. So. Well, I'm sure like the elites, like even able-bodied elites, like you are either one or the other.
Right. You're not really both. I mean, you have to like. For traditional Taekwondo, you have to do it to move up in belt rank, but like once you're kind of past that point.
Once you're going to the games.
Right.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, we're just gonna fight.
Yeah, you become a specialist. Track and field is very similar. Yeah, you gotta.
Yeah, because there's like the long jump and like.
There's a lot. Like I can't do like shot put and long jump and expect to like have like consistent performances in both. Yeah, they're so vastly different. Like you don't see a big heavy thrower like running the mile after. It's like that's not really a thing. All right, well, Brianna, thank you for coming by.
Thank you so much for inviting me.
I really look forward to seeing you in Lima, Peru for Para Pan Ams and also Tokyo 2020.
Yes, we're gonna have so much fun.
Yeah, it's gonna be so tough.
Yeah.
Thank you again.
Thank you.
Thanks for watching Pick Last in Gym Class.
Thank you for watching this week's show. Be sure to check out the Pick Last in Gym Class podcast for an extended interview with Brianna, available on all podcasting platforms.